Hey, what's up, guys? This is Negative coming at the video real quick to explain and clear up some of the misconceptions about the infographics that I posted the other day. So, Discord has a 2,000 character limit per post. I didn't want to split it between multiple posts, but I quickly ran out of space, and there were a lot of things I wanted to either explain or talk about that I didn't get the chance to, and so that's what I'm going to address here. So if we look at the example on screen, right, Martha's dashing forward and attempting to power shield some low lasers. And this is the worst possible scenario for Martha to try to attempt to power shield low lasers. In fact, the bottom laser is the lowest possible laser. Now we have numerous power shield regions on the screen based off of the technique that we try to use to execute the power shield and what frame we hit the power shield on, considering that there will be an active power shield region for 2 frames, right? And so we have a 2-frame timing for each one, and so we have 6 different regions. Now, given that, we can take the region that looks to be the best, right? So let's say ADT frame 2, in this case, is covering the most of Marth's body better than the others. So let's just consider that. Well, Marth's body's still poking out of that power shield region significantly, right? Or we would expect that much. Let's look at the hurt boxes. So here, if we look at the hurt boxes, we can see that, yes, they are poking out of that region pretty far, right? And not only that, but those hurt boxes are aligned with the hit boxes that are headed his way. So he should probably not be able to block these is what you would expect, but you would be wrong for numerous reasons. Here's the first reason. The hurt boxes you're looking at for Marth right now are not the hurt boxes that you will actually have an effect when you execute any of these techniques on the given frame that you're looking at for the technique, right? Because each of these techniques has a different set of hurt boxes for Marth. They all contort his body and perform the animation slightly differently. And then based off if it was a frame 1 or frame 2 timing, it's going to be even more different. And so instead of putting a blob of hurt boxes on the screen and you don't know which one correlates to what, and it's just not really useful, I instead put the hurt boxes for Marth the frame before he pops his shield in executing any of these given techniques, right? And so that's what you're looking at right here. So given that, I'm actually going to re-upload the zip to include both the Hurtbox versions of this, as well as the Hurtbox overlaid over the model, as well as individual frames of all of the different power shield methods and timings with the Hurtboxes and the Hurtbox overlays and just the models for each specific one so that you can actually look at where the Hurtboxes are really at, and you can make your analysis based on that, because that's a whole separate thing than what you're looking at right here. This is a little misleading. This is good for looking at the power shield regions with respect to one another and understanding where one is stronger than the other, etc., right? That's what you're supposed to get out of this, is a comparison between the methods of how these power shields relate to one another. But it's not going to tell you or answer the question of whether or not you can power shield something. And that's for another reason, right? Because even if we look at this, we see, yeah, these hurt boxes should get hit by these lasers, right? And the answer is no, not necessarily. So let's take a look at this example. I've got Falco set up. I've got Marth. So Falco's going to shoot the lowest possible laser, right? Gun hits the ground, still glowing red. Absolutely insane. Marth's dashing forward, pops his ADT. He's shooting for a frame 2 timing, right? So there's no power shield right now, but there's a power shield region now on this frame. And then here's the second frame. So we get a power shield on the second frame for Falco's lowest possible laser. And let's take a look at the actual hurt boxes. So here we've got, and it might get washed out on the screen, so I'll kind of outline it here with a pointer. But essentially, Marth, his hair is poking out of the power shield region here, because the power shield region is extending like this, right? And so his hair's poking out. His hand has extended through, right? His hair doesn't have a hurt box, so this doesn't matter, right? His hand actually is poking out though, and so that's no bueno. But the hitbox for this, here's the laser hitbox. It's extending all the way to here through the hand, right? And so you would expect that this would not be a power shield, right? If you were to just look at this graphic and say, yeah, the laser did hit the hand, he shouldn't be able to power shield that because it contacted the hurt box. Well, Melee is a three-dimensional game, right? You can't forget that. So if we rotate the camera, you can see this laser wasn't even close to hitting his hand, right? This thing is heading for like mid-thigh, which is so far back into the power shield region, there's no way that he's not going to be able to power shield this. So yeah, maybe he has a 1-frame window, maybe he has a 2-frame window. Depends how his body is actually positioned in three-dimensional space, right? Because right here, his arms are so far out to the sides that he's going to have no problem power shielding any of this. And his head is far too high, right? This is just going to this perfect little cavity here where he can just power shield at will. And because there's such a big difference in how far back it has to go to hit Marth, you know that this is not spacing dependent, right? It doesn't matter what the spacing is between the Falco and the Marth, he's going to be able to hit this power shield on this frame. But that's not the hard part, right? Because technically the harder one would be to deal with hitting the head, right? If we look here, we can see that the head is actually centered over the Z-axis relatively well. And so that's really going to be the easier part to hit. Falcos shouldn't be trying to shoot the lowest possible laser. They should be shooting the laser that is aligned with Marth's head. So let's take a look at that then, right? Because I got a save state for that too. So let's load up, I think it was state 9. Let's load that up. Let's take a peek. So here, Marth is going to perform the ADT, but he's going to do it on frame 2. So he pops shield once, boom, he gets the power shield on frame 2, right? So let's take a look here. Well, we can see that, okay, we've got the laser contacting the head, right? But it also contacts the power shield region on the same frame. So clearly, if Marth was like a little bit further back, the laser would be able to hit the head without hitting the power shield region probably. So this is a spacing dependent timing, right? So this is not going to be a guaranteed. However, that doesn't mean he can't get an ADT power shield on this laser. Let's go check out another state. This time, same thing, but Marth is going to actually perform the ADT 1 frame earlier, right? He's going to shoot for the frame 2 timing now, because that was the frame 1 timing. So here we have the frame 2 timing, and what do you know? Marth can power shield it, because, dun, 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 look, now his head is shifted to the side. This is a shoulder shot. But his shoulder is definitely far back enough within the power shield region not to get hit. So there's no way this laser's hitting him. So once again, even with things that are at head height for Marth, ADT power shield is going to be able to power shield them with at least a 1 frame window, because the frame 2 power shield, it shifts his head out of alignment off the Z-axis. So you end up shooting the shoulder, which is definitely, you know, considerably within the power shield region. So yeah, Marth should be able to power shield every Falco laser at pretty much every height with the same timing. So that is a misconception. When you take a look at these infographics, do not try to look at where the hurt boxes are and use that to gauge whether or not you can do you can actually power shield things. What we really need to do is instead get some kind of Z-axis view, but I haven't figured out a good way to represent that. I may end up coming up with something in the future, But in the meantime, I will upload the zip again with all the different images for all the different techniques on each frame. And so that will still be a little more helpful, even though it won't give you the z-axis information. I'll try to get that for you guys a bit later. And that's all I got for this video. So I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. And now you know. Peace.